So generally, I don't really like playing the Dragon class that much, that's why you don't see me making much videos about it. But I make an exception for one of my favorite cards in the game right now, which is Fennie, who's very meme effective. Just half the cost of your deck can often lead to some very fun games. And I do like this kind of bombastic effects as long as they're not super broken and like at the absolute top of the meta, which I don't really think this deck is at the top right now. So yeah, today we're going to be playing some Fennie Dragon, making use of, well, some of the new cards, not a lot of them. Let's look at the deck that we're playing for today first. So this is the deck list we're playing for today. I just sort of threw it together. It's not super optimized or anything. I think there's more room for experimentation, but for today this is the list I'm working with. For the new cards, we have Jellyfish Dancer, which helps shore up early game by giving you 2/2 costs to work with, and as well as the Bane having some uses in the late game when you're out of Evo points. And then you have Sloth of the Crest Petal, which is pretty good for early game as well, just help you clear followers. And in the late game, it can help you chip some damage for lethal. And then we are playing Urns, of course, very strong card. It's your main payoff to recover from the tempo loss after playing Fennie, because you can heal off her effect, or you can just dunk your opponent in the face for 8 damage if you need it. It's all pretty solid stuff. And then we're playing one of Geteno here. The main, I guess, meme card in this deck. After you play Fennie, you just toss your whole hand and draw 8 cards, and 8 cards that are discounted, and it's apparently, supposedly quite strong if you do that. Yeah, and then also you have a backup with the second effect if you don't manage to ramp or draw Fennie or anything, and you sort of like an Oluwan sort of thing where if you need a large ditch effort to end the game, you can just try to draw into 2 cards that perfectly save you. So yeah, this is the new cards we're running here. There's no Zooey in this deck because you kind of need to play Galamio on turn 5 a lot of the time, because it's very, very hard to get Fennie on board safely, so having Galamio spell helps you do that, so not really space to run Zooey. Maybe Zooey makes the deck better, I don't know, there's not a lot of ramp in this deck, so maybe I can experiment with a Zooey included list later on. And then we have Azerifreet, of course, because there's a lot of, well, I ran into a lot of Evo Sword and other like decks that went really wide, so I felt I sort of needed Azerifreet to answer the board, so he's here. He's definitely a card you can cut if you don't want to. And then we only have 2 Neptunes because this deck ran out of Evo points too fast. So after your first Neptune, the following copies don't really do all that much, so I just run 2 copies. So yeah, this is the list we're playing for today. Let's look at some games. So our first match for today is against Sword. There's Evo Sword, Loot Sword, and Aggro Sword all available right now. All of them have strong early game, so we focus on keeping early game cards like Jellyfish Dancer, and then we look for ramp. If you're playing against a slow deck, you can just toss your entire thing and just look hard search for ramp instead, but we sort of need early game for this matchup. This match I played a bit sloppily, admittedly, but I think it's still a good showcase of the power of this deck, so I just thought I would use this match. We go ahead and use Sloth of the Crest Petal here to clear these 2 followers so we don't take too much damage early. If we drop Jellyfish, they can just trade, so it's not great. Yeah, my opponent trades, my opponent passes, so this is most likely Evo Sword. Only Evo Sword would pass turn 3, because there's a lot of 4 cost and above cards in the deck, so we can probably expect a bunch of Seraphons in their hand right now. I dropped Jellyfish Dancer here. Honestly, I'm not entirely sure it's that good, but if we look forward to the future a bit, having the Mega Lorca with Rush is probably a bit better than having to play this 2 cost before we get it, so we can just convert it into Mega Lorca now and get access to the immediate 2 cost Rush for later. This time I was planning to coin Galamio, but I top deck Liu Feng, so I end up... But I think Galamio would have been the better play here because, as I said before, Galamio's Crest spell, this 0 cost follow spell, is very important for getting Fennie on board safely. So I think prioritizing playing Galamio here and getting the spell early on and getting as many copies as I can before I drop Fennie would have been much safer. And if I go ramp with Liu Feng here, honestly there's nothing to ramp into in the first place for next turn because none of these cards are really worth ramping into, I don't think. But anyway, and in this turn I will end up going for Liu Feng Evo here. There's an option to opt to end turn here, so next time I can coin out the Galamio so I don't have to evolve it, but a lot of Swords plays will end up probably wanting me to evolve Galamute next turn anyway, so there's that. This time I end up coining up Megalorca so that I can stick Bane on this and hopefully it annoys my opponent. So that was my logic, I guess. My opponent will go ahead and use Unkei here though, which will banish my Liu Feng, and then they can full clear my board with the help of her spell. A solid card, I guess. And now we end up just playing Galamute anyway, so you can see we have the one extra play P we ran, end up doing nothing this turn, so probably would have been better to just point out Galamute last turn and start collecting her spells. Opponent drops the Luminous Mage here, which is fine. They will evolve the Steelclad Knight and trade it into the Galamute. And this turn you will see the effects of not having the 2-cost spell. I mean, not having an extra copy of the spell that we have gotten if I point out Galamute earlier. Here we use 2 Fangs of Ardent Destruction and we clear this. I don't want to spend my Evo point here because our Evo points are very valuable, especially with 2 Olivias in hand right now, so we sort of want to save it. So end up leaving this alive, which lets my opponent play Amelia here. And into the Zirconia as well for a very threatening board, and because I left the Mage alive, they got ward, so it's very hard for me to clear this board without Azure Freed, which I don't have the play points for. So yeah, you can see here I definitely got punished pretty hard. I definitely should have evolved and traded probably. Or actually more realistically, I should have played Galamute one turn earlier to clear the Mega, so stuff like this wouldn't have happened. Yeah, definitely a misplay on my part. We can play the Sloth here, and then we use the Grand and Jita with Drew to try and clear a follower. Amelia is a pretty good hit here. Anything besides the Konya would have been fine, because main important thing is to clear the Amelia there so they can't super evolve and give stuff barriers. So as long as we hit one of the wards or the Amelia behind the ward, that would have been fine. Even though we are taking a lot of damage from Zirconia, they don't have that much lethality in Evo Sword. This is a decision that we can make because we are familiar with the deck, so yeah. But then we'll go ahead and use their boots to buff the Zirconia here, which is a bit scary. And then we'll go ahead and clear my Grand Jita here, and we take a bunch of damage as well. It's not ideal, generally speaking. I'm gonna draw Olivia here again to draw into our deck even more and find some discounted cards. We pick up Urns here, which is good, but not quite what we need right now. We can go ahead and pull the Megalorcas out of our deck to improve our top decks, as well as just help us clear this board. And we save the last one because it can be hard to drop Urns if they have a 9 or above follower, or if they go super wide, having the Megalorca to help clear is quite nice. You can see my opponent has the Golden Knight here. Which will go ahead and clear my board. This is prime time to drop Urns as well as a second Fennie, so we go ahead and do that. Honestly, probably should play Fangs or Ardent Destruction instead of the Megalorca here since I get refunded anyway. So yeah, maybe a bit of a misplay on my part here. Right, anyway, we go ahead and heal up to 19, which is quite nice, because we don't want to die. There's my opponent's Seiphon, which is quite strong here. They do have the full scoop Super Skybound as well, which is not great for me. So we don't have answers in our hand right now, but we do have 2 copies of Azure Free and 3 copies of Violin in our deck to hopefully get out this board. We go ahead and draw with Grand and Jita here, pick up another one, so we go ahead and draw with that as well. And we do manage to pick up the Violin here, thankfully, so we will be able to full clear. The Ardent Destruction to chip down the follower so that a Violin spell can work. And once we're out of Evo points, Violin's main body isn't super useful, so we just go ahead and convert her into the spell right now. Saves us 1 play point down the road if we need to play the spell. I'm gonna go ahead and do the classic Zeta Bay enhance into the Seiphon as well, which will deal us a lot of damage. And we lose our board as well to Grimnir's Crest. We'll go ahead and try to heal up here with Neptune. Clear this board with the White Frost Whisper. And then we traded to make space so we can play a second Neptune to heal more because we are very low. And we know that they have Thunderfall in hand, which is quite discounted by the fact that they just pulled off Seiphon's Super Skybound art. So we know that they are Xenophon Skymar is definitely active, so we want to, from now on we need to maintain like at least a sizable board to make sure that they can't just Xenophon me in the face. I've got Azuri free here to clear the board, which is very nice, so we go ahead and do that. Then we just draw into our deck for better cards here. We go ahead and drop the Galamew and the Genesis. These are just big followers to put on board. One, to threaten them by not letting them play a Seraphon on this board. They don't actually have 2 damage to pair with Seraphon. If you played Sword, you generally know this. So it's actually quite safe to do this. And then we chip them down so that next time if they don't do anything, we can just kill them with the second Genesis we have in hand. And either way, they have to answer this board somehow, so that's the idea. That's my opponent's Gildaria. And a Devotee as well. My opponent misplaced here. If they played the boots on the Devotee and traded, they could have gotten the Goblet which to heal with, but for some reason they used the boots on Gildaria. I don't really know why. So we end up having lethal here, but even without lethal, we could have went with Fate of the World discounted to a 2-cost spell. We could have just dropped Liu Feng to get rid of the 10 play points, then we can just play this without Enhance to draw into our deck. We still have 2 urns in deck, and we can clear this board with Fangs of Ardent Destruction, so generally we are quite safe here. But in this case we do have lethal, so we just pop it and kill them. Our next match here is against Rune. This is a bit of a high roll match, as I wanted to show it off. Against Rune, I usually just full search for a ramp because this nowadays it's spell boost, but then it could be dirt as well. So if you keep in mind that it could be dirt when you're mulliganing if you want to be safe. But yeah, in this case we open a ton of ramps, so very nice opening here. But my opponent is playing dirt, which is not ideal for me. We can coin out Dragon Sign here, because I don't really want to play Phylene now. And I want to spam ram 3 turns in a row, then just drop Fennie, so calling out Dragon Sign here is sort of necessary for that game plan, I guess. We're gonna drop Dragon Sign again here to ramp 1 more time. Opponent goes wide here with Cagliostro, which is quite annoying. Unfortunately, I can't go with my initial plan of going Liu Feng here. But we drop Dragon Sign, so we can still ramp anyway. If we go Liu Feng here, we end up leaving a bit too much damage on their board. So yeah, we do end up just ramping here, which is very nice. My opponent will evolve Face here. Unfortunately, it's a bit hard to land Fennie next turn, even though we have enough play points because we are a bit too low. I think leaving this Grand Angita alive will get me killed. So we do have to settle for just going for Liu Feng here. I'm gonna use Call of the Megalorca as well to clear the Grand Jita. And then we don't play the next one, we just save it for if we need followers with Neptune in hand. As well as if we play Fennie, it halves the cost of the last one, so we're getting a little bit more value by holding it right now. In this case, my opponent will go ahead and play Norman here. Again, can't really drop Fennie here. This is why Galamew is important for this deck. It makes dropping Fennie much easier. In this case, we don't have Galamew, so we have to sort of make do, I guess. We can drop Neptune here to heal out the damage we've taken early game, and we can use Liu Feng to finish off their followers. Even if we didn't draw Liu Feng, in worst case I could have played Call of the Megalorca to clear, but we would have just lost more followers that way. Oh no, go ahead and use Sage Light to clear my board here, which is fine. There's Penelope as well. We'll go ahead and expand their dirt reserves as well as draw them more cards, and then they'll go ahead and play the Apprentice Astrologer as well to draw them even more cards and give them more dirt. Oh, we definitely have free reign here, so we go ahead and drop Fennie. Go ahead and evolve her, just save our super evolve for something like Olivia or anything else that wants it, or Azuri Freed as well is an option. And we just draw into our deck here. You can see the Megalorca is now discounted, and no need to spend our extra point here. It's just not really worth it. Opponent draws Lanthem here and just passes, which is fine. We're gonna go ahead and get rid of that Lanthem with our Azuri Freed, because we cannot afford to take the damage from... We cannot afford to take the 8 damage, because you can see we're very low right now. Without card draw, it's very hard. Well, we only have 1 card draw, I guess, but it's very hard to guarantee being able to heal with Urn, so I play it safe here and just clear that board. And we drop the Phylene again because the main body isn't super useful right now, so converting her into the spell is a bit more PP value, I guess. My opponent will go ahead and use their Mirel and Reset as well as Gilna Leaf to full clear, which is as well as healing out quite a bit, which is very unfortunate for me because they heal out of Genesis Dragon range. Not that I have it in hand, but you know. So go ahead and try to draw here. You got another Azeri free, which is quite nice. This turn is a bit strange, or rather interesting maybe. But we go ahead and play the Galamute here. The reason why we need to play the Galamute here, I should explain, is because as you can see, we have no card draw in hand right now. So, and Dirt has a lot of high value followers that we will need to clear. So by dropping Galamute here, we guarantee that by playing Azerifrit to clear their next board, we get Galamute's spell, which in turn makes it so that we can guarantee clear the next board with White Frost Whisper. So that's why we have to draw Galamute here instead of trying to save her for her enhance or something. There's Sandalphone from my opponent. And there's Edelweiss as well. We'll go ahead and play the Apprentice Astrologer. And Grand Jita will be able to clear my Galamute here. And they will heal a bit from Xenophon's Crest. We top deck the greatest card on Earth, Geteno here. So we go ahead and clear with Azerifrit. And then play the Megalorca, and then we just toss our whole hand to draw a new set of 8 cards. Arguably it could have been an option to just go ahead and toss the cards straight away without playing our early cards first, but I don't really feel a sense of urgency that requires me to draw a new hand there, so we just do it this way. They will clear my board with Double Sage Light, and there goes Geteno as well. And Melvi as well, and with Xenophon's Crest they heal out of 1 Genesis range, but we have 2. And we have Sloth anyway, so yeah, we just have OTK this turn. Yeah, that's it for this game. Bit of a high roll game. And our last match for today is against Sword again, because for some reason I keep queuing against Sword when I play this deck, so... yeah, this was an interesting game that I wanted to showcase, but I didn't draw any Ramp or Fennie at all. So yeah, it was pretty interesting. Anyway, we just look for early game as usual against Sword so that we don't die. There's Luminous Lance Trooper again, the classic move, so this is probably not loot, but it could be either of the other ones. This game I went Megalorca to trade, because I was saving Sloth for a more dangerous board, I think. This time I play a bit goofily. Oh, I see, you can see I drew Fennie here, but I didn't end up playing it. This turn I play a bit goofily. I feel like going for a Sloth of the Crest Petal here and just trading would have been fine. Here I went for the Jellyfish Dancer and then Coin Majestic Megalorca, I guess to maintain board pressure, but this is a bit of a dumb play I think, because I can see I have no play for next turn, so saving the coin for Galamute next turn would have probably been optimal here. We do manage to take out the Zeta Bay here, which they used to trade. Unfortunately I have nothing to do this turn, so I just passed though. My opponent will go ahead and use Grand Jita to draw 2 cards, which will give me a free reign to drop Galamute here, so I guess I got saved from them having a relatively slow turn. A Grand Jita means this is probably Evo or mid-range Sword again. A bit unfortunate that I have 2 of the same matchup in one video. I generally try to avoid doing this, but I don't know, I just wanted to showcase this game because it was an interesting one. Opponent will go ahead and evolve Zeta Bay face here. Unfortunately without Ram we can't play Fennie this turn, so it's a bit unfortunate there. We'll use Sloth to get rid of their followers and just draw into our deck for more value cards, I think. And also the contest board a little bit, I guess. Here my opponent goes for the Zirconia. And they will go ahead and evolve their Zirconia as well. For a fairly annoying board for us to deal with. Thankfully though, we do have Azerifrit here. Oh, I guess we don't have Azerifrit, sorry, let me correct myself. So go ahead and use Sloth to ping some damage, and then go ahead and use Galamute to trade. And then here I land the 50-50, so there's no point in using Fangs here, so I just hold on to it. Especially since we're looking to play Azerifrit, it's worth it to conserve it probably. Take a bit more damage from the Knight here, but since we are planning to play a Ward anyway, it's not the biggest deal for us to go down into Albert range right now. Go ahead and coin Azerifrit here. Get rid of this board. And then we super evolve him in case my opponent wants to Albert me next turn. I play one here. I think I ended up playing a second one. The second one I played because I thought I would have enough play points for Urns next turn for some reason, but I don't. So yeah, that was a misplay on my part. So I've just held on to it. My opponent goes and plays a Grand Cheetah here to draw into their deck more, as well as a Magus, just to keep pressuring me on board, I guess. And a Super Evolve to stop Genesis Dragon, I suppose. But we don't have play points for Urns, but we do have enough for Azure Freed, which ends up being lethal this turn as well. So it's a weird game where we just Azure Freed them to death. Definitely doesn't happen very often, I would say. Those are all the games I have for you today. I would say the new cards actually make this deck like quite a bit better than it used to be when it was just Fennie and then Prey. We have like some decent early game cards as well as a much better payoff that can actually heal off the early damage we take. And Kateno is just fun. So yeah, I mean, give it a try if you want. It's a bit of an expensive deck and I can't guarantee you results. I definitely still think that there is room for experimentation and improvement in this list as well. So yeah, I might make another Fennie video later on down the line if I feel like it. But for now, we're focusing on playing new cards. So yeah, we're still in that sort of new expansion season. So yeah, anyway, that's it for today. See you next time. Bye bye.